Shalom and welcome back to Flipping Pages, Stirring Sauces. If it is your first time here, welcome. My gratitude to all of those of you who have taken time out to spend some time with me, and to all of those of you who have liked, shared, subscribed, and have commented. A lot of people are wondering why I have not been saying anything about all the things that are happening in the world right now and what's going on in Africa. And for the past 3.5 years, I've been talking about everything that has been happening lately. And the past 3.5 years, the past 3 years, the past 2 years, the past year, and even recently, I said that the continent of Africa, the land mass, is even closer to the Caribbean than they've been telling us. And now they're coming out saying publicly that Africa has depicted on the map is turned upside down, which will confirm what I have been saying. But see, this is how vile, wicked, and cruel the oppressors are. They did everything to change our history, and turning the map of Africa upside down is one of those things. And by the way, when I say to you, eat what you grow and grow what you eat, this turnip is from my garden, and all of this is edible. The bulb and the leaves are edible. So I will be sauteing these for dinner tomorrow. I will be putting them in the whole thing, in a vinegar and water bath to get all the little critters off of it that might be on it. And I will be sauteing it and putting it over a bed of rice. I grew this from seed. So when the turnip gets to be about between a golf size ball and a tennis ball, it is ready for consumption. So this is just a little bit bigger than a golf ball, and it's ready for consumption, and I will be eating all parts of it. So getting back to the story at hand, people are wondering why I've been so quiet about all the happenings in the world right now. And I have, oh my goodness, I'm not sure how many. I think I have over 200, maybe close to 300 videos out there. And those videos covers everything that is going on right now. So just to recap, 3 years ago, I said that Babylon is imploding. 2 years ago, I said Babylon is trying to destabilize the Caribbean. 2 years ago, I said Charles was ruthless and bigoted, and that the Commonwealth will not be ruled by William, and he has no marriage. I said Andrew, the Jamaican Prime Minister, doesn't like self-employment. I told you about the oppressive class taking away everything from the melanated people and overusing it in the wrong context. Example, the word woke. I spoke about our history and how wonderful it is. 2 years ago, I said melanated people doesn't know how to build a wall around us and keep strangers out of our kitchen. We keep letting them into our kitchen so that they can stir our soup. But they don't just want to stop at stirring our soup. They want to take over our soup and drink it. I said the oppressors insert themselves into everything good that the melanated people come up with and take it over. I spoke about Gaddafi and Lumumba, 2 years ago and said that whenever we try to come together and industrialize ourselves and build for ourselves, they take us out. I said Jamaica is full of the Creator's chosen people, and I maintain that. I talked about the fact that they have opened the borders to people who are not melanated, and they do not know what this is. They do not know that this is a changed world. I said that bullets will no longer penetrate our skin, and that their power of fear no longer affects us. I said Uganda will prosper without their aid. I said the world is on to them about Libya. I told Babylon it would be alone when the rest of the world realizes that they've been hoodwinked by Babylon. I said 2 years ago that the oppressors want Africa without the people, and now it is on everyone's lips. 2 years ago I spoke to Jamaica and Africa about what they didn't build and what they are doing right now. About what they didn't build and what are they doing right now. Jamaica is building like crazy, and Africa is building like crazy. I spoke about demanding our instruments and implements and property back. I demanded reparations. I said France's stranglehold on Africa must be obliterated. I spoke about the false Egyptian history that was created by the oppressors in order to keep us oppressed. I said we need to stop asking them for our things. We need to demand them or take them back by force. We need to say no and mean it. 3 years ago, I talked about the knowing and the instruments and implements and our history. I said when any two of them come together, it will be hell to pay. And it is hell to pay. I said no one will save us. We have to save ourselves. I talked about the fact that the Asian man see us as food for their aphrodisiac obsession, and they do. I spoke about the fact that the oppressors purposely killed our industries, and in particular the dairy and agriculture industries, and forced their industries onto us. 2 years ago, I stated that knowing who we are, knowing our history, and having our instruments and implements will make us unstoppable. We now know who we are, and we also know our history. Babylon is shaking in their boots. Wait until we take our instruments and implements back. I spoke about the fragmented imaginary lines that they drew across Africa in order to keep people apart, and in order to exercise dominance over us. You cannot be an independent nation when a foreign body is the head of state. And this is why the Commonwealth should be disbanded. I spoke about the fact that the original people to the Americas looked like me, and that the papal bulletin has been overturned, and the land has been returned to the original people who looked like me. What is South Africa doing right now? They are trying to correct the wrong that was done by the colonizers to the original people by returning the land to them. I spoke about the shapeshifters and the spirit of confusion. You can have your rights as long as your rights do not infringe on my rights as an individual. I spoke about some of the vile happenings in Jamaica. I spoke about the fact that Christianity is the worst thing that has happened to the melanated people. I spoke about the manipulation of our ancestors and the vile nature of Christianity. I spoke about people staying in their homeland and building their own countries. I spoke about the Creator's chosen people rising. I spoke about where they are today. I spoke about the African artwork that was stolen and the fact that they do not believe that Africans can take care of their own artwork or themselves. I spoke about the fact that they have burned our history books in the past and that they are doing it again. I spoke about the fact that civil servants work for us, not the other way around. I spoke about the salami method that is being used against the melanated people. I spoke about the shift that is taking place. I spoke about the fact that it is a wonderful time to be alive. I spoke about the fact that the earth is correcting itself. I said Africa is rising and that it is a giant that has woken up. Some would like to put her back to sleep. I spoke about the African Holocaust at the hands of the Europeans. I spoke about ECOWAS as a Judas of America, as a Judas of Africa, and that they are on the wrong side of the revolution that has spawned wings and have taken flight. They are like dogs who are content to eat the scrap from the master's table. I warned Emmanuel Macron that he will have to pay for everything that he pulls out of Africa. I said that Africa's wealth is for the African people. I pointed out their manipulation of Africa, pitting brothers against brothers. I talked about threatening African leaders. They did that too, and I did speak about that. But I also spoke about treating African leaders with respect. I spoke about the new dawn and what is President Traore demanding from the oppressors? Respect. I said that Babylon and Macron were committing treason against the people of Niger and should be prosecuted. France is a parasite. The unnatural disasters in Haiti and the assassination of Haiti's presidents. I said that William Ruto had no business in Haiti, and anything starting with United that does not end in States of Africa is not good for the melanated man. Ruto is on the wrong side of the revolution. There is nothing peaceful about Babylon. Wherever they go to help out or to make peace, they leave behind melanated widows and orphans. I said history has not taught ECOWAS anything, and that Akufo-Addo's testicles are in a jar on a shelf. I spoke about not picking arms up against your brothers for your common enemies. I warned Europe to stay in their garden and stay out of Africa's jungles. I warned Macron that the weapons he was dropping off in Africa would be used against him because it is a new dawn. I talked about the fact that African slave women were performing surgeries, C-sections, in order to deliver babies while the oppressors were running around in caves in the Caucasus Mountains. I asked Africans to focus on what the ancestors did when someone got sick. What is President Traore doing? He's going back to original bush medicine. Although the Judas Jezebel of Ghana, I pointed out that he didn't build any infrastructure or industry, and I questioned what his legacy would be. He was the first to tell a lie on President Traore. There will be no proxy wars in Africa. The war will come to Babylon's front door. I said, do not let Babylon put any permanent structures on your territory. I spoke about African nations being forced to put 85% of their money in French banks and borrowing their own money back at a very high rate of interest. I spoke on why democracy is not good for Africa. I spoke about the Holocaust that took place in Africa, that my brothers and sisters in Africa didn't even know about this Holocaust. The condemnation of the English language and the breakdown of the phrase thank you and why I do not use it. The breakdown of blessing and bless and why I do not use those words. I spoke about the 400 years of affliction and the great substance, the fact that the synagogue of Satan, I spoke about the synagogue of Satan. The sun is going down in the north behind me, and it is getting very dark. So I'm listing a few more points and then I will have to end it because it's getting very dark very quickly. I spoke about the Arab slave trade and the fact that our men were castrated by the Arabs. I spoke about the fact that Saddam Hussein did not have any weapons of mass destruction, and I spoke about Muammar Gaddafi and the fact that his only crime was to break away from Babylon and try to unite Africa. Babylon always seek to destroy that which they cannot control. I have been saying the oppressor's time is up. I spoke about Al-Kabulin, which is Africa's true name, and the meaning, and the land of the blacks, the Garden of Eden, mother of mankind. That is the true meaning of Al-Kabulin. I talked about the oppressors using the same old playbook. Africa has changed their playbook to an updated version, and they are now light years ahead of the oppressors. I said that aid equaled Africa's indefinite dependence. AID, as in the aid that the oppressors were providing to Africans. I said, let them keep their aid and focus on the land. Make agriculture paramount. Focus on clean water, agriculture, and homegrown medicine. I spoke about a united Africa speaking with one voice. I spoke about the other melanated nations around the world who supports Africa, Al-Kabulin. I spoke about the subhumans and their treatment of melanated people and why we shouldn't put them on pedestals. I warned Africa about William Ruto and the genocide in the DRC, praying to the false god that the oppressors gave to us. The war will be in the living room of Babylon. I spoke about the feminine aspect of the Creator, and I say aspect because she has a right-hand man who is always at her side. One man, always at our side, and I'm going to leave it there for tonight because it is getting very dark. And I'll pick it up and finish this off another time, or maybe I can adjust the lighting a little bit. Let me see if I can adjust the lighting to make it a little bit brighter. Yeah, I've adjusted the lighting, but it is still dark. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there for tonight and pick it up another night. So once again, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'm under a flight path and there's an airplane going by, so it's making some noise. My gratitude for the time that you've spent with me, and like I said, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, I give you my peace, I give you my ahab, shalom.